Hello, I'm Ted Pike. Despite his smiles and charm, President Obama is a left of left liberal. He's determined to make America a hate crimes police state like Canada. Canadian anti-hate laws have destroyed freedom of speech for our northern neighbors. In Canada, it is illegal to publicly criticize homosexuality. Those who disobey face harsh fines and even imprisonment. Our new president supports multiple hate and bias crime bills, which are listed at the White House website. Today we'll consider these bills and how they threaten to also take away our free speech. One of Obama's top priorities is to pass the federal hate crimes bill, the David Ray Hate Crimes Prevention Act of 2009, H.R. 256. This legislation says if anyone counsels violence against a member of a federally protected group, such as homosexuals, then the counselor will be tried as a principal alongside the person who actually commits the hate crime. What does this really mean? A talk show host, writer, pastor, or even person on the street could go to prison if he repeats the Bible's counsel that homosexuality is an abomination to God. If an unstable person hears that counsel and then attacks a homosexual, the pastor or talk show host can be tried as a federal hate criminal. If Obama's federal hate crimes bill is passed, no one who speaks against the behavior of federally protected groups will be safe from arrest. You don't believe it? Just look at what similar hate laws have done in Canada. Pastors, writers, and average citizens have been convicted as hate criminals, merely for expressing their biblical beliefs. If a Canadian criticizes homosexuals, Muslims, or Jews, he can be arrested and fined $5,000. If he repeats the offense, he can go to prison. Canada is a telescope into the future of America if a federal hate law is passed. Obama's hate bill will also give the government power to enforce a federal hate law in all 50 states. No state will be exempt. It will unite federal hate crime law enforcement with local law enforcement. Traditionally, states have had legal boundaries to keep the federal government from meddling. But if this bill is passed, nothing will keep federal police out. This union of federal and local police is the very definition of a police state. The second hate crimes bill in the Democrat agenda is the David Ray Richardson Hate Crimes Prevention Act, H.R. 262. This bill would erect a federal hate crimes command center in Washington, D.C., costing taxpayers $10 million annually. Yet it will not be run by the government. Instead, the bill says a private civil liberties organization will direct it. Who can this be but the world's premier civil liberties group promoting hate laws, the Anti-Defamation League? ADL created this bill to put itself into the driver's seat of hate law enforcement in America. ADL masterminded the hate crimes police states in Canada, Europe, and Australia. ADL now orchestrates a 56-member nation hate crimes bureaucracy in Europe. ADL also persuaded 45 U.S. states to adopt some version of its model anti-hate law. Already, ADL has federal authority to instruct the U.S. Justice Department, FBI, and all local police on its hate crimes agenda. If this bill is passed, ADL will operate a 24-hour command center in Washington with a hate crime hotline and database, a center for spying on Americans with politically incorrect views. ADL will also assist the federal government in a massive national brainwashing program to eliminate bias in American schools. H.R. 262 proposes that every student from kindergarten through grad school will be re-educated against homophobic values and the Bible's hate speech. ADL says such biblical intolerance is the root cause of hate crimes against homosexuals. Already, under California's recent hate bill, signed by Governor Schwarzenegger, any student, teacher, or faculty member who criticizes homosexuality can be fired or expelled. The third hate bill on Obama's legislative wish list is ENDA, the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. ENDA is a hate crimes bill for the workplace, which dictates how Americans can use their private property. It says any employer who refuses to hire a known homosexual or fires him because of his sexual orientation becomes a federal hate criminal. He faces harsh fines. If he repeats the offense, he can expect imprisonment. Under ENDA, churches also must hire homosexuals in all sponsored organizations, such as church schools, adoption agencies, and summer camps. Otherwise, their administrators become hate criminals, and the church loses tax-exempt status. ENDA also mandates that if a homosexual wants to rent your apartment or buy your house or property, and you refuse because he is a homosexual, then you can be arrested under a federal warrant. The first two hate bills are in the House Judiciary Committee and soon will enter the Senate Judiciary Committee. We must loudly protest them and ENDA starting today. 2 years ago, lovers of freedom bombarded Congress with phone calls of protest. They defeated 6 Orwellian bills, including the hate bill.
Contact your members of the House and Senate now. Call 1-877-851-6437, toll free, or 1-202-225-3121, toll, for the Capitol switchboard. The operator will direct your call to your congressmember. Call, fax, or email their offices. Tell them, please don't vote for the hate crimes bills H.R. 256 and H.R. 262. Also, don't vote for ENDA, the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. Existing law is sufficient to punish all crimes. Hate laws have taken away free speech in Canada, in European countries, and in Australia. Also, it is extremely important that you call the crucial 40 members of the House Judiciary Committee, listed at truthtellers.org. Call a few every day before work or during your lunch hour. Within a few days, all will have heard your message.
Creating controversy in the House Judiciary Committee 2 years ago was the single most important factor in defeating the hate and bias bills. Do you think your call won't make a difference? Think again. Members of Congress consider every call represents 1,000 people who feel the same but didn't have the scratch to protest. God and the American people have defeated the hate bill 5 times over the past 10 years. People just like you believe they could make a difference. How right they were. You can do the same today.
Come to truthtellers.org for complete educational resources to help you and your friends defeat hate laws. There you can watch our gripping 82-minute video, Hate Laws Making Criminals of Christians, and our 10-minute quick education on the hate bill threat, Hate Bill Lies Exposed.